Okay, trust you are well. Okay, welcome to the video whereby we will be dealing with job costing system. This is a costing system that is used to record or to account for costs incurred in a company that produces goods which are not the same in nature. Okay, without wasting any time, let's get to it now. We have this question here of Wandi Ltd, whereby we are required to do the following. The required says there prepare a job cost card for each job. Number B says prepare the manufacturing overhead control account, and then the work in progress for job X11 and Z41 accounts. So now the job cost card, guys, is required in number A. It's a document that we use to record the cost or to record the costs incurred in the with respect to each and every job that we have. So that's what we call job cost card. As you see there in my spreadsheet there, I have my job cost card, and then it shows there the jobs that I'm currently working on, which is the job X11 and all those jobs there. Guys, these jobs are incurring different costs. That's why we record the cost separately in this job cost card. Okay, in the job cost card, we're going to have our opening balances. Our opening balances are the costs which we incurred in the previous period. Just like now we are in July, I believe so. Yes, we are in July. And then all the cost or all the job which you started in the previous period being June will be part of your opening balances. Those are the costs that are in your opening balances. And make sure that already know in your opening balance or last month you already incurred everything, labor, material, and overheads. When you get your opening balance, just add all those amounts and put it there for each and every job specifically. Okay, without wasting any time, guys, let's get started with the required number one, whereby we are calculating we are throwing up the job cost card. So now opening balance, now we need to go and identify the jobs which were started in the previous month, and then they were still in progress at the beginning of the current month. So now, guys, we're going to go to the first table given in this question here, which says there, on the 1st of July 2020, the following balances appeared in the books. We have the material control account, which means we have a balance of 45,000 for material that we haven't used. And then the work in progress account total is 109,700. This work in progress, because it's opening balance, that's what we're interested in. It says that the work in progress consists of the following jobs. It's job X11 and job V22. So it's only these two jobs which were started in the previous month. And then we have those costs, direct material, direct labor, and overheads, and the total. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to take this total here, which is for the job X11, and then we put it as our opening balances. There we have 91,500 for job X11. I'm going to put that amount there, number 91,500. There's my opening balance for job X11. And then when I go to job V22, the opening balance will be the 18,000 there. So you're going to put there 18,200, right, guys? And then those other jobs there, guys, we didn't have any opening balance, so you can just put the zeros there. You didn't have any opening balances for those jobs there because chances are they were started in the current month. As they say here below the opening balance table, that during July, the company started 3 jobs, which is A12, W31, and Z41. So those are the 3 jobs which were started in the current period, and therefore they don't have any opening balances. Okay, now we go to current costs. Current costs, guys, are the costs made probably to finish off these 2 jobs here. How much more did I pay on labor, material, and overheads to finish off, or how much do I have to pay for this job in the current period, current cost? So we're going to go back to the information given there. Then they say there, cost incurred in July. There we go. The costs which were incurred in July were as follows. We have those costs which were incurred for job X11, job V, all those jobs are the costs which were incurred in the current period. Okay, direct material that we have 1.5 was incurred for job X11. We go to X11 there, we put Direct material, we incurred 1.5, put it there. And then there we go. Direct labor, we incurred 1,150, put there 1,150. And then when we get to the overheads, now the overheads, remember, we are counting for applied manufacturing overheads, not actual, guys. And then what is the formula for applied manufacturing overheads? The formula for applied manufacturing overheads is the POR multiplied by the actual of the basis. Now, guys, we need to go and calculate our POR. Our POR, remember, guys, I'm just going to put it there. Ne? So my POR is equals to, I need to get my budgeted manufacturing overheads, then I divide it by the budget of the basis. Then let's go and identify which basis are we using for our POR. They're saying that the Wandi Ltd manufactures machines on an order for its lines and uses a job costing system. Manufacturing overhead cost is applied based on prime cost. So now we know that our basis, guys, is prime cost. And then now we now need to go and identify our budgeted manufacturing overheads and our budgeted prime cost. They say there in this table there that the following monthly budget is available. The manufacturing overhead cost budget is 41,500, and then we have the budgeted material cost and the budget labor cost, which the sum of these two will give me my prime cost. So now let's calculate our POR. Our POR is equals to, I'm going to take the 41,500, which is my overheads budget, divide by what? By the sum of what? Of my labor and material, which is 31,000 plus the 50,300. There we go. Enter. You see there, we are getting 0, that. So we're going to change this thing to percentage because now our POR is based on prime cost, which is a cost. And then remember, when your basis is a cost, you need to show your POR as a percentage, and then this is going to be 51% of prime cost. Makes sense? So what's going to happen now to get our applied here, our applied there? We're going to take what? We're going to take the POR multiplied by the actual of the basis. The actual of the basis here will be the sum of these two here for this specific job. So which means that our applied for this job will be what? I'm going to add my material plus my labor, then I close the bracket there, then I multiply it with the POR, which is 51%. Then I get what? There I have it, the 1,351.5. That is my applied manufacturing overhead for this specific job. Then when I go to job V22, let's go back and check the cost incurred in July for job V22. There we go. We have 11,250 for both material and labor there. So let's go and put it there. Okay, we have job 11250. Then we have 11250 there. And which means that now my applied will be how much? I'm going to have to add these two amounts, this plus that. Then I close the bracket. I multiply that by 51%, which is my POR. This two gives me my actual of my basis, and I have to multiply by the POR of 51%, and then there I have it, my applied. And then now, guys, the sum of these three things, material, labor, and overheads, will give you what you call current cost. Let's do this. Let's just put in a border there. Let's put a border. There we go. So there I'm going to put the is equals to, I'm going to put a sum of what? A sum of all those three there. Then that's going to give me my current cost. Then from there, I'm going to copy the formula throughout my workings there. So already these three things will be auto-summed here, guys. And then once I take my opening balance plus my current cost will give me my total there. So I'm going to take this opening balance plus the current cost will always give me my total for each and every job that I have. So I can also copy the formula right around there. Okay, it's fine. But yeah, I'll explain it also how they got those amounts. Which And then here we have is equals to, we take the opening balance there plus the current cost. There we have it there. And then now we go to our job V22. I take the opening balance there. I add my current cost there. There I have it. And then here we can just bold this one here just to make sure that's it's our total. Then now we move to job A12. A12, we have 900 for material. We have 357 for labor. There we go. We have 900 for material, and then we have 357 for what? For labor. And then now our applied overheads will be what? I'm going to take the material, I add the labor, then from there I multiply by what? By the 51%, which is my POR, to get my applied. There we go. We have 641 and 7 cents, which is our applied. Then you're going to add these three figures to get our current cost of 1,898.07 cents. Then now we're going to get our total for this job to be our zero, since we didn't have any opening balance, plus our current cost, which gives us, of course, the same amount of 1898.07. Then we move, guys, to the fourth job, which is W31. W31, we have 7,000 for material, we have 7.5 for labor. There we go. We have 7,000 for material, we have 7.5 for labor. And then which makes us get our applied of how much? We're going to take the material plus the labor. Then from there, I multiply that sum with 51%, which is my what? My POR. And then, guys, with POR, you must make sure that you always round off to the nearest whole number. If you're getting your POR as 51, something, just make sure that you round it off to the nearest whole number. And then now, guys, we have our current cost for job W31 to be 21,895, which gives us the total of what? Of 0 plus that current cost. They will give us an amount of 21,895. That's our total for this specific job. Then we move, guys, to the last job, which is Z41. Z41, there we go. We have 10,500 for material, and we have 30,300 for labor. So we have 10,000. Then we have 10,500 for material. We have 30,300. We have 30,300 for labor. And then that's going to give us what as our applied. Applied, we're going to just do the very same thing. Take your material plus your labor there. Then you close bracket and you multiply by 51%. Then it's going to give you your applied to be 20,808 rand, which makes or which gives you your total current cost of 61,608. And then now our total, guys, will now be the 0 plus the current cost there, which still gives you the 61,608, guys. And guys, this makes up your job costing, guys. Not job costing, I mean your job cost card. This is your job cost card, which was required in number A. The only thing that you have to understand is the calculation of your applied, because other figures, I believe they are given, and there's no way it can be tricky for you to determine those amounts there, guys. Then as we move to required number 2, whereby they ask us to do the manufacturing overhead control account and the work in progress account for those other jobs. Guys, always you have to understand that when you get to your manufacturing overhead control account, remember this is an expense account. And we know that on the right-hand side there, we have the debit figures, and then there we have our credit figures there. So always you make sure that you apply the manufacturing overheads will always come on the credit side. You applied overheads will come on the credit side, and the actuals will come on the debit side. Because remember, on the applied, you haven't actually incurred the cost. And then when you incur the cost, the expense account will increase on the debit side. I hope it makes sense. So now, guys, we are giving the applied, or we've just calculated our applied. Our applied is this line, our line, our row there. Applied overhead, we have applied for the first job, second job, third job, fourth job, and fifth job. The total of this will be your applied. But I can say just there and say I'm going to look for the applied. Oh, wait. Oh, what have I done? That was applied overheads. Then here, I'm just going to put the applied for job X11. And remember, job X11 is which one? That was our first job. So I'm just going to fetch the amount for the first job there and I put it there. And there I'm going to take now the applied for job V22. And how much is that? So I'm going to take the amount for V22, which is equals to that one there. Enter. Then from there, I'm going to take the applied again for which job? For job A12. A12, which gives me the amount of what? There we go, the 641 and 07 cents. Then we go again and we look for the applied for which job? For job W31. And then which amount is that for W31? We're going to take this amount of 7,395. And then lastly, we take our applied for job Z41. Our applied for Z41. Then which is how much? Which is that? The 20808. Then now we have all our applied now. And then now we're going to look for our actual overheads now. Our actual overheads are given here. They say that the following transactions were recorded during July. We know that we have the material purchase with that, and always we're going to account for material issued, not material purchase, right, guys? So our material issued, direct and indirect. We know only the indirect, which will be our overhead. So we're going to start there and say our material indirect, which is how much? The material indirect, we are given an amount of 8,850 there. So we're going to take 8,850 there as our material indirect. From there, we identify the second overhead, which is labor paid indirect, the 4,895. So we have the labor, our labor, and then indirect. Guys, I'm just using the abbreviations there, guys, because I don't have space there. So our labor indirect is 4,895. There we go. Then we go and identify our third overhead, guys. So they said the other factory costs incurred were the following. We have water and light. That's our overhead as well. So we're going to put there W and E, which stands for water and light, or water and electricity. So we have 7,000 there. Put it 7,000 there. And then we go and identify our fourth overhead, which is depreciation. So you put there depreciation there, and the amount for depreciation is 4,000. We put 4,000 there. And then we go and identify the next overhead, which is insurance. So we're going to have insurance there. And then the amount for insurance there is 8,100. Then we put there 8,100. Then we go and identify the next one, which is rent. We go and we put rent there, and the amount for rent is 6.5. Then we put there 6,500. And then our last overhead is rent, repairs and maintenance. So we're gonna put there rent, R and M, which is for rent and maintenance, and the amount there is 10,000. There we go. So now we have all our actual overheads now, and then now we have all our applied. So now we need to find the bigger side now. Which side is bigger than the other? Because now we need to close off this account now. We need to close off this account. So we're gonna add everything there on the debit side. We're gonna look the equals to sum of everything on the debit side there. From everything that we add it together, we are getting 493.45. And let's see if we add our credit side here, how much are we getting? Our credit side there, when we add it, how much are we getting? We are getting an amount of 4.1, and here we have 4.9. So you see the bigger side is the debit side. So we need to balance it using the figure from the debit side, the 4.935. And then the balancing figure here will give us our, what do you call this? Our under applied. Right, guys? So which means we are gonna have cost of sales. Remember, our under applied is adjusted with cost of sales. If it's over applied, you'll see it is gonna be on the debit side there. And our over applied will be, our under applied will be the 49,341 minus all these figures here. I subtract everything here. Those brackets is equals to, oh, there we go. Is equals to, gonna take this minus that, minus that, minus that, minus that, minus that is equals to, there we have it. Our under applied, which will be adjusted with the cost of sales, is 7,674.43. Okay, guys, and then this makes up your manufacturing overhead control account. Then we move to the work in progress account for job X11. Okay, guys, you have to remember that job work in progress control account, it's one type of inventory also. Remember types of inventory, we have raw materials, we have work in progress, and we have finished goods. So since this is a work in progress account, which is an asset inventory, it is going to increase its cost on the debit side as well, because that's where assets increase their cost. And then for work in progress, we're going to account for our opening balance, which are the costs which we incurred previously for the job here X11. And guys, we already have this amount here from our job cost card. There is the opening balance for job X11, so I'm going to fetch that amount there and put it there as my opening balance. It's equals to, then I fetch this opening balance amount and I put it there. Then from there, I'm going to account for the current cost, which is direct material. Then we have direct labor, and then we have applied manufacturing overheads. So our direct labor amount, I'm also going to fetch it there, which is how much, the 1.5. And then the direct labor, I'm going to fetch it there, which is the 1,150. And our applied overheads there is the 1,351.50. And now, guys, this is going to give me a total of how much? So now I'm going to get a total of, I'm going to say it's equals to, then I'm going to take everything there, sum of everything there. So I'm going to sum everything there, and it gives me this total there. And then remember, this is a control account. We need to balance it off or to close it off. So this balance here must be the same also as there. So I'm going to take this and then we put it there as well. And then the balancing account, the account which you're going to balance it with here. Remember, this thing must balance. The debit side must equal the credit side. So now the account I'm going to put there, guys, it will depend. You just have to know, was this job X11 finished, or was it sold, or it is still in progress? If this job is still in progress, meaning that even at the end of July, this job was not finished, then you're going to use the closing balance as your closing account there. But if this job was completed in July, then you're going to put finished goods there because it is finished. But then if this job was finished and sold, you're going to close it off using the cost of sales account there to show that it was closed. So now let's go and read the information to determine if was job X11 completed. There we go. Job X11 was completed but not yet sold. There we have it. I've just highlighted the thing there. Job X11 was completed but not yet sold, which means we're going to close it off using what? The finished goods. Finished goods. That's the account that you're going to use to close off this account there. Then we are done with the work in progress account for job X11. Then we go to job Z41. Z41, going to account for the opening balance. And how much is our opening balance? Let's go back to our job cost card. Opening balance for Z41, oh, we didn't have it there, it's 0. Then from there, we're going to account for our direct material, direct labor, and our applied manufacturing overhead cost. So our direct material is equals to, let's go and fetch it there, Z41, we have the 10,500, and then direct labor, we have how much? We have the 30,300, and our applied there, we have how much? We have the 20,808, which will give us, of course, our total of how much. So I'm going to sum everything there to get to this total of 61608. And then remember, we need to close off this account. So we're going to close it off. And then this must equal that, because debit and credit always must give you the same amount. And then you're going to have this amount there, the 61608 as well. And then now the account I'm going to use there, let's go and check which was Z41 completed or what. They say there, job V22 and Z41 were completed during July and sold for those amounts respectively. So you know that this job that I'm dealing with here, which is Z41, it was sold. So I'm going to use cost of sales as my closing account. Cost of sales. That's my closing account for this job because it was finished, guys. Okay, and then guys, this actually concludes the work of Wandi Ltd or the required for this tutorial work. Guys, thank you. Bye.